I'm Lady T506. Welcome to my channel. Hello everyone's. I am here for Manifest Season 1, Episode 6. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. So y'all, we have a scene. They're on the plane. Cal's coming back from the restroom, and there's this man. He's trying to ask people questions, but he doesn't speak English. As he walks past Cal, he kind of like rubs on his head. But I was like, I don't see anything good happening from this, and we're gonna get to that later. So he eventually finds somebody who speaks English. Now jump to present day. Cal is in his bed. He is screaming. He has spiked a fever. He is speaking Bulgarian, which he does not. That is not his native language. So the fact that he's speaking another language, with me as a parent, I would have been like, something's not right. He has never heard this language before. Where he's getting it from? I know that his fever is spiked, but something about this is not right. He's saying how they're hurting me, help, not the red door. And it's like, when you have a fever, you become delirious and you don't know what you're saying. That has happened to me several times when I spike a fever, because I think I had the flu and I was just saying anything that came to my mind. But like certain things like this, and the fact that they, been gone for 5 years and come back and they still look the same age, would make me think, this has something to do with the plane. But then we also have to think of is Cal is going through cancer treatment, and that does a lot to your body. And you spike fevers. There's a chance that you can spike a fever. So being automatically is like, okay, we need to get him to the hospital, because he's not fully on board with this is something to do with his cancer treatment. He's only thinking of this has something to do with the plane. So the government has gotten the best minds in the whole world trying to figure out what happened to this plane. Was it a black hole? Was it a time warp? Like, nobody can definitively give an answer as to how this plane disappeared for 5 years, came back, and nobody knows what happens. Everybody looks the same age. We just can't come to a decision on this. It's like we didn't have like 6 panels of the smartest people, and we still can't figure this out. And I'm like, whatever technology or whatever happened to cause the plane to disappear itself, I'm pretty sure they have like the technology and all that stuff that where you're not going to figure out what happened. I like the show, and I'm gonna continue on reviewing it, but I do want to know, like, what caused this. This is like when I used to watch Lost. I didn't get on to Lost until like the series was already over, because they said everybody died. But then go back and watch. If you haven't seen Lost, that is a very good show. It's like a mystery, and we're trying to figure out this mystery, just like on Manifest. Like, we have the smartest people in the entire world, and not one of them can tell me definitively what caused this plane to disappear and come back. Like, nobody can give us these answers. The words that Cal keeps speaking over and over again is, I remember this man was saying this on a plane. He was saying it over and over again. And Cal's like, okay, she's like, he was a couple of seats behind me, and he kept on speaking over and over again. And finally he found somebody to translate for him. And this particular man, Marko, Ben has not been able to find him. He's been keeping track of everybody who's been on the plane, what they're doing, his own information to figure out what's going on. And Marko, he just happens to be one of the people he can't find. And Mick, she goes to the translator. She finds a translator and like goes to her for help. And she was like, yes, I helped Marko on the plane, and I helped him while we was at the hangar because he doesn't speak English. He didn't know what was going on. But he was taken to a shelter with the other people who didn't have a home to go to. And I was like, that was interesting. But she's like, that's the last I've seen him. I thought that we were going to stay in touch, keep in touch with each other. But I haven't heard from him, since they, carted him off with the other people who didn't have homes to go to. I was like, yeah, that was some government cover up right there. I just knew it right then and there. Grace wants Ben to focus on being Cal's father. Let the government figure out what exactly happened and you focus on being Cal's dad. Now, y'all remember last episode, Ben tried to ignore the voices because he's not trying to go to jail. He's trying to just be there for his family. He has no time to just, go out there and chase these leads. He tried doing that, and he was successful somewhat until Cal and him was going on there. We're gonna let fate decide what we're gonna do, and they end up seeing Thomas. And this is when he realized, Cal, he's something special. So now it's like, I've tried to ignore these voices before, and look where they got me. But we realized that there was 5 buses that were shipping people out. But on record, it only shows 4 buses. Now, they didn't went through the news footage, like, see, there's 5 buses right here. But on record, there's only 4 buses. And on the 5th bus, it was people who were not American. They didn't have family. Basically, people who nobody would notice going missing. Like, they don't speak English. They don't have a family here. So these are the prime people who can go missing and nobody would miss them. I was like, see, I believe I'm a conspiracy theorist just a little bit. I mean, nothing surprises me at this point. But with this show, like, I was so, focused on, like, deputy director dude. I cannot remember his name at this time. Was it Vans? I think it's Vans. But we're going to call him deputy director dude. I was so focused on, they're trying to find out what was wrong, what happened to this plane, and they're using these people as, like, test subjects. That's what I thought was happening when I said, like, these 11 people went missing. People nobody would notice was missing. These are the prime people that you can just experiment on and wouldn't nobody know, none the wiser. So we're going to keep our good eye on deputy director and figure out what is going on. So whatever experimenting that is happening to Marko, Cal is feeling everything. His fever is spiking, not because of the cancer treatment or an infection. His fever is spiking and he's reacting because whatever treatment they're doing to Marko is happening to Cal. I guess once he tapped Cal's head, I'm not really sure. But whatever Marko feels, Cal feels. Now we're trying to figure out, okay, do we give him the antibiotics to get his fever down? Do we give him, certain drugs so we can stop his seizures? But with giving him antibiotics, that's going to mess up his cancer treatment. And his cancer doctor is going to throw him out of the study if they do any sort of treatment. So it's like, okay, what do I do? Do I give him this antibiotics to stop the fever and him, get out of the study for his cancer? Or do nothing and his fever gets worse? It's like we don't know what to do right now. It's like whatever's going on with Marko, because we keep on seeing like flashes of Marko and he's on some type of hospital bed. They have all kind of monitors on him. They're doing all kind of treatments on him, and it looks very, very painful. And then there's a grown man going through this pain, but Cal is feeling everything too. And I was like, I guess whoever took Marko, they didn't know that he's basically connected to Cal like that. So whatever we're doing to him is going to hurt this little boy too. I guess they don't really care right now as long as they get their data. But I was like, that was just like so painful to watch. So Mick, after doing her research, realizes that the 5 buses that went out, one of them went off on the interstate. They're in upstate New York somewhere out in the middle of nowhere. So she's like, she's going to go out there. She's going to find out what's going on so they can get Marko and we can get Cal better. But Jared goes out there with her because he's like, he doesn't want her going out there on her lonesome and, something happens. So once they get out there, this is a big old farm. There's barn where they're holding the people at. It's heavily guarded, like with assault rifles, sniper rifles. There's drones everywhere. Like, all indication is we don't want anybody on this property, and we don't want you to see what we have going on here. And like one of the guards comes up and they have to act like oh, one of our tires blew. We're sorry. We didn't mean this. And as they're going off, she takes a picture of, it seems like a lady in a hospital gown being taken into one of the barns, I guess, to get do whatever testing they want to do on her. But Jared, he wants some answers, like, why did we come out here to this government facility that looks like, and you don't seem surprised that this is a government facility. Like, I know you're saying you can't tell me, but I need to know what's going on. You knew what was coming to. And she said, I've been here since we've been back. I've been hearing voices. I've been seeing images. And these voices and these images have been helping me solve these cases. Those two little girls, it was a voice told me to let them free, set them free, let them go, or whatever it was. When she found Thomas, it was that image of that little statue of that woman to help her find Thomas. The lady who got killed, we figured out, she came back and she no longer wanted to be a slumlord. We figured out it was because of her baby. These voices and these images have been helping her out, but she was like, I'm not crazy. This is just something we've been going through since we've been back. And she knows whatever is going on in that barn is a clue as to helping Cal get better. So he seemed like he's kind of on board, but looking at her sideways like this does not make sense. But then again, them being gone for 5 years and coming back and there's no trace of where they're being doesn't make sense either. Ben goes to the deputy director like, I need to talk to you. I need to find Marko because my son is sick. And whatever is happening to Marko is affecting my son. But deputy director doesn't really want to talk to him. He's like, I have all this evidence that you were holding these people there. My sister was just up there. I will take this to the news if need be. I will go public with this. I will take it to the press. And deputy director thinks he's bluffing. He doesn't these people are right here and everybody's accounted for, so I don't know what you're talking about. They think Ben is either losing his mind or just lying about the whole situation. But then this is when I was like, okay, deputy director, he's not behind us, but he said he's going to go look into this because we have all these government agencies and somebody knows what's going on and we're not, telling each other what's going on. So he's going to get to the bottom of I'm going to see if this man's as crazy or not. I'm already got Jared up there looking into Michaela and what she got going on. And this is another person coming on, talking about people missing. He said he's going to get to the bottom of it. He's going to look into that. I was like, okay, go look into it, please. So Grace, she breaks down. Ben is not there. Cal is steady spiking a fever. She thinks she doesn't want Sanvi to continue to tell Ben that, you shouldn't be encouraging him. There's something wrong with my son and y'all making it seem like it's plain. She doesn't understand it because she's not going through this. She's breaking down in the bathroom. Then finally Cal wakes up. Ben gets there and she's like, you left me here by myself to deal with this. But he was out there, even though he wasn't there physically, he was out there trying to get evidence to prove and to get Marko so Cal can get better. But she just sees it as, you left me here. Our child is sick. You did this before. You were so against people who didn't want to vaccinate their children. You were going through all kind of holistic websites to find out what was wrong with Cal. You're doing that again, and I don't want you to do that. I want us to be together on this. You can't be leaving me when I need you the most right now when Cal is sick. And I know that have to be so stressful and just all the weight of a parent. Your child is sick and there's nothing you can do. You don't know what exactly is the right choice for your child, and that's what she was going through. All evidence says that, okay, all the passengers from this plane, they're accounted for. So Ben, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But the picture that he has of that young lady that was at the barn looks a lot like one of the pictures of the lady who she's supposed to be in Norway, 200 miles from the Arctic Circle or something like this. This is not the Arctic Circle. So clearly somebody's lying about where these people are. So they go to the barn, and the barn has been completely everything's gone. We making it look like nobody was actually there. And deputy director said, if I was going to get rid of information and make it seem like I wasn't there, I would have it set out just like this. And he ends up seeing a little bandage on the floor, one of them little circle ones with fresh blood on it, which makes him think people were here and they were being experimented on. We, as our government part, we have no idea what was going on. So we need to find these people and see what was going on. I was like, okay. They got all those people out of there, like, we've been compromised, so now we have to take all our subjects elsewhere so we can experiment on them there. I was like, But we do find out it some corporation, they are behind all the people who are missing, and they're behind experimenting on them. So if they continue to experiment on Marko, I'm just thinking that Cal is going to continue to experience all those pains. So y'all, this show is getting better. That was just my review. If I left anything out, by all means, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.